Great day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and for today, we will be covering the second part of business analytics and data analytics. We are already on chapter 2, which is analytics on spreadsheets. So let's get started. So for our agenda, we will be covering several buttons and menus in Excel or Google Sheet, writing correct formulas in Excel worksheet or Google Sheets, and then basic Excel and Google Sheet formulas. So there are a lot of things that you can do in both Excel and Google Sheets. And I'm pretty sure most of you are already familiar with this because I'm speaking majority with college students. And throughout your college life, okay, you are very familiar with the use of a Microsoft Word document, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel for your business plan, marketing plan, so on and so forth. So I'm pretty sure you can cover majority of these without any issues, such as opening, saving, and printing, moving around the spreadsheets, selecting cells and ranges, inserting and deleting rows, columns, entering and editing text, formatting data, number, currency, and decimal places, and modifying the appearance of the spreadsheet using many things, particularly borders. So here we can see a tour of an Excel ribbon or a traditional Excel ribbon. So let me show you. This is your regular Excel ribbon, and here is your menu bar, because you have several menus such as home, file menu, insert menu, page layout menu, so on and so forth. And as you move towards the menu, you can see that the options in the ribbon also changes along with it. So if I go to home, I have different sets of options under my table, under my ribbon. I have the clipboard, and then I can just hover here and I will see the definition, see all the items you've copied on the clipboard. And then when I go to font, it gives me an information about editing font settings, okay, about alignment, okay, about numbers, the format, you can change the format. Is it time, percentage, fraction, so on and so forth. And then all of these things, okay. Right down the ribbon section, you would have the formula bar. This is where you can see formulas that are typed in. And then below, you can see that I am moving my spreadsheet. So here are your worksheet, okay? Here is your name box. So let's say if I am in, I am a cell C9, you can see the address here, which is C9. So it gives you an idea where you are working on. And then of course you have the scroll bars and the status bar. So going back, you can also perform very similar functions with Google Sheets. Okay, let me see if I can go to here, go to my Google Sheet, an example of a worksheet. You can see that it's pretty much condensed as compared to an Excel worksheet that has several menus and tools. Here, it's just condensed to several menus, reduced to 8 menus, and then very comprehensive, not necessarily comprehensive, but a summarized version of menu. So basically, if you would differentiate the two, if you would like to work on heavier, bigger sets of data, Excel is your best option. While if you are just using a very small number, a few numbers, few sets of data, you can definitely do that in Google Sheets. And the advantage of using Google Sheets, another advantage is that you don't need to have a paid license. As we all know, Microsoft is a paid software. You must have an active paid license in order for you to use it. Whereas with Google Sheets, you can do it anytime online. Okay, you don't need to pay for a license. You just need to have a Google Drive, an active Gmail or Google account, and then you would be able to access the entire, we call it G Suite, the entire G Suite online at any time, any location. Sometimes even through your mobile phones, but it's going to be a little bit difficult because you wouldn't have any keyboards and mouse to use. Okay, so it's still better to use a computer if you will be accessing these tools, both a Google Sheet or an Excel worksheet. So let me go back to my presentation. So for today, we will be covering several Excel formulas or Google Sheet formulas. We have, again, let me remind you, you can do this both in Excel or Google Sheet. So if you will see me use it alternatively, it's okay. It does not mean that I cannot perform it. If I am doing it in Google Sheet, I won't be able to perform it in Excel. It's not the case. Again, they pretty much have the same functionalities. Okay, if all of these things, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, and referencing, can be done both in Excel and Google Sheet. And then we will be covering functions. Functions are used to perform special calculations in cells and are used extensively in business analytics or data analytics applications. So all Excel functions require an equal sign. So again, it starts with an equal sign and a function name followed by parentheses in which you specify arguments for the function. So for today, we will be covering this: minimum, maximum, sum, average, count, count A, and Countif. So let's go back to our Google Sheet. Okay, so we can start applying the things that we have mentioned here: minimum, maximum, sum, average, count, and Countif. Actually, there's still count. I was not able to include it in the slides, but let's look at it one by one. Okay, so here I have a set of numbers or data. These are just random numbers. Actually, I have just written down 1 to 50, or actually 1 to 60, and then A to Z with combinations of letters and numbers. Okay, and then here you can see that here are the things that we have to look for. What's the minimum, the maximum, sum, average, count, count A, and Countif. And we have the answers here. So how were we able to reach those answers is what we are going to study today. Okay, so let's go through them one by one. So earlier we mentioned that when we are writing formulas, it all has to start with an equal sign. So let me go back and show you how to start writing a formula. You have to start with an equal sign. So I hope you can see my my screen, my cursor, and I have started writing an equal symbol, equal sign. And then, yeah, it gives me some tips. I can use the arrow keys to select a range, so on and so forth. But no worries, we can still handle it. Okay, so we started with equal sign, and then we are trying to look for the minimum or min. Therefore, I will type min. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase. Okay, it would still work. It's not case sensitive. Okay. So if I would write min, you can see that it's giving me a definition here. It says that min refers to the minimum value in a numeric data set. Okay? So the smallest, the minimum value in a given data set. This is our data set. Okay, so I've typed equals min and then open parenthesis. Okay, and then it says here that it's looking for the first value. Okay, so the first value can be anywhere here. It's just telling me that I need to point or start doing my range. Okay, in the vernacular, it means yung coverage, yung lawak. Okay, so range, so I started with A1, and then I could just, drag my entire data sheet here. I've used my mouse to drag my range. And then you can see here that it has given me equals min, open parenthesis, A1 to J10. It means that my data is spanning from this cell A1 up until J10 here. Okay? So it's A1 to J10. And then close parenthesis. Okay? So I have covered my entire data. So let me press enter, the enter button on your keyboard. Alright. So when I pressed enter, it has given me the answer of 1. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Because throughout this entire set of data, the smallest number here is 1. Okay, I hope you're following me. Now, what if I update this data? Let's say I remove 1. I have deleted it. Take a close look what happens if I would do that. I deleted it. What happened? The minimum number now is 2. Okay, so what this means is that data is updated real time. So let me try to zoom in a little bit more so you can see my screen. Okay, so what if I delete 2? Alright, the minimum number now is 3. So let me put it back to its original state. So there. I hope you understand the first formula. Now let's go to the second, maximum. So again, all formulas would have to start with equal sign and then type in max. Again, it's not case sensitive. You can use small or large keys. And then after typing max, it tells me that, okay, max, maximum value in a numeric data set. So open parenthesis and then let me highlight my data. Okay. And then again, it's A1 to J10. The upper leftmost and then the lower rightmost. Okay. Let me close that. Alright. So it's telling me that the maximum number I have in this data set is 60. Is that true? Yes, it is 60. What if I turn this into 100? It changes as well. The maximum number becomes 100. So, as you can see, these are very helpful formulas because let's imagine that you have thousands and thousands of numbers. It would be very difficult for you to locate which is the minimum and maximum value. Mahirapan kayong hanapin yun, ano? In the vernacular. Pag pinahanap sa inyo ng boss nyo, what's the minimum or maximum? Wherein you can just type in a simple formula and it would give you the answer. Okay? So next, of course, sum. I'm sure most of you are already familiar with this. So when I type sum equals sum, when you say sum, you are what? Trying to add. Okay? So when you say sum, this one returns the sum of a series of numbers and or cells. Okay? It means adding, sum, dagdag, no, pag-add. So let me try to highlight my entire range and then close the formula with a close parenthesis. Okay. So it's telling me that the total number I have here, if I would add all of these, is that I get 1,830. Okay. Are these ones added? A1 to A10? Absolutely not. Okay, why? Because they are not pure numbers. They have letters. Let's say I try to change A10 to 100. You see the change that happened here? Okay. So meaning it was not counted because it's a combination of numeric and alphabetical numbers. So I can also change the range here if I would want. Let's say I just wanted to add this range, yung katapat niya. I just wanted to add that. Okay. So I highlighted that range, close parenthesis, enter. I have 255. Okay. So see, that's the beauty of using the formula. You can easily determine what's your sum total. Next, let's do the average. Equals average. Average returns the numerical value in the data set ignoring text. So again, we have the same rule as earlier discussed earlier. Text will be ignored. Numbers will be counted. So let's cover this. Even if I include the letters in my range, close parenthesis, enter. The average here is 30.5, which just makes sense. Because when you talk of the average, you are talking of the mean. Okay? What's your data? 60. 1 to 60, right? So your average or yung gitna will be 30.5. So that just makes perfect sense. Okay? And then next, count. So let's try to know what count does. So when you say count, returns the number of numeric values in dataset. So let me try to underscore that. When you say count, it counts all the number of numeric values in dataset. Numeric only. Okay, so let's try to see how many do we have here. Okay, sorry. Equals count, and then let me try to highlight my range. I have 60 numeric values here. Are these ones also included in the computation? If I would remove the letter, let's see what happens. It changed, right, into 61. So what this means is that alphanumeric data is not counted as well. When you mix numbers with letters, it will not be counted. Okay? So next, let's use count A equals count A. So when you say count A, the number of values in the data set. So what's the difference when you talk of values? When I say values, it will distinguish whether these are alphabetical, numerical, etc. So let me try to change 60. Let me add an alphabet on it. Let me add letter A. What happened? Count, change, but count A remains the same, which is 100. We have 100 values here. But now we only have 59 numeric values. Okay? So that's the difference between count and count A. And finally, let's go to Countif. So what is Countif? When you talk of Countif, it returns a conditional count across a range. Okay? It now lets you find a specific number or letter in a range. So let me try to show you what Countif does. So this is my range A1 to J10. After the range, it says I need to put in a separator or a comma. So comma, criterion. Okay? So let's say I would like to find all the letter A. Okay, A. So let me put in, notice what I did here. I put in an open parenthesis, open quotation mark, letter A, close quotation mark, close parenthesis. So let's see what happens. Alright, so it says here that throughout my data set, I have 1A. So what does that mean? Again, if your data is alphanumeric, it will not count that. It will not count the instances of A because we have a lot of A's here. It only counts A as a single letter. Alright? But what if I wanted to determine those with letter A? That means other data that is in combination with letter A. What should I do with that? I will put in question mark here. So equals A question mark, close quote, close parenthesis. So let's see what happens. Alright, so it shows here that I have 13 data or values that has letter A. So is that true? Let's see. I have this one, I have this. All of these things have letter A. Okay? But why is that? I am showing here that I have 15. I have 15. Why did it give me 13? Because now it has excluded this one and that one. So these two were excluded. Why? Because our condition is A and then question mark, meaning whatever number or alphabet text after letter A. So let me try to add one more question mark and let's see what happens. It just tells me I have one, which is A10. Why? Because I have two question marks here. And then I have two numbers after letter A. Alright, so see, that's the beauty of using a Countif. Okay? It gives you specifically what you are trying to look for. Okay? So, let me go back to the presentation. Those were some of the basic functions that we have covered. And I hope you were able to understand all of them. Okay? And then for our first activity and assignment, I will be sending you an Excel sheet. You can use that as well online in Google Sheets. And then you have to use all the basic formulas that we have discussed, which is minimum, maximum, sum, average, count, count A, and Countif. Okay? So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all stay safe. To God be all the glory till our next video.